This is about the infrastructure of activist groups funding these groups that do these attacks. She said, quote, "We will continue investigations, including into those behind the scenes, funding and coordinating these crimes." Who are we talking about here?
Well, number one, I want to say Pam Bondi is tough as nails. Number two, my understanding is that George Soros and those aligned with him are funding these activists, these terrorist activists all around the country to the tune of $4,000 a month or more. They have hours, they track their hours, they clock their hours, they have special messages they put out. They go and they protest, and they're paid to do it. And so we got to get to the bottom of it. I do believe that Pam Bondi, I believe in her investigation. I believe she'll get to the bottom of where the money is coming from. But these people have to be put in jail. It's not enough to say, hey, this is bad. They've been arrested. They've got to go to prison. People have to be fired from their jobs. They've got to go to jail. They got to pay the time for the crime they've done.
I find it rich that the same members of Congress who defended the Biden crime family, who are making millions of dollars from international business deals while trading on public office, are now here lecturing us today about conflicts of interest. Like they should just sit right back down. They have no room on this issue. I would love to know if they think Nancy Pelosi trading stocks is a conflict of interest. So, if the Biden family, international business dealings, you're trading off the vice presidency and presidency is not a conflict of interest. I would love to know where they stand on that.
All right, so I have someone who needs no introduction. Obviously, many of you know who Nancy Mace is. Those of you who don't know, she is a congresswoman from the great state, the Palmetto State, South Carolina. Nancy Mace, how are you, ma'am?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you, Barry?
Good. I just wanted to get your volume level and get everything. So you look like are you home or are you back in Washington?
We are in South Carolina today.
Okay, great. Because I know they're planning a bunch of craziness up in Washington tomorrow, so I'm glad you're out of that fray. So with everything that's crazy going on, let everybody hear what you think about this whole tariff situation.
Well, look, I believe what Donald Trump is doing is brilliant, and we're seeing countries adjust their tariffs. I believe Donald Trump wants to get us to zero. And if other countries get to zero, the United States follows suit. We're matching them dollar for dollar, and that's going to be great for the economy. He's creating jobs. He's bringing manufacturing back to the United States. He's got billions of dollars now that are going to be invested by companies from overseas back into the U.S., nations that are coming into the U.S. to make investments here. This is great for America. I don't care what the left says because they're lunatics and they don't want Donald Trump to win. They're absolutely crazy. They want America to lose because they hate Donald Trump so much, and they can just shut up.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible because as I look at this, most of them are probably doing some sort of insider trading anyway. But
yeah,
when you hear Chuck Schumer and some of these people talk, they convolute things, so it conflate and use whatever words you want, but they're not talking about the very specific thing is that we've been being taken advantage of for quite some time. And I'm just wondering, why is it that President Trump is the first person to take this on? Because people like you and so many other people in Congress and the Senate are like, yeah, we now have a leader who's willing to take these pointed arrows. So I noticed yesterday or the day before they were trying to pass some sort of bill that he'll veto it, but what was the reason they were trying to do this posturing and rebuke him and the tariffs, and where's that going to go?
Well, right, because they're doing anything they can. The left is desperate. Chuck Schumer is desperate. 1990s Chuck Schumer and 2025 Chuck Schumer are very different Chuck Schumers. And all these people know how to do, these far leftists, these agitators, these Democrats that have lost their marbles, all they know how to do is lie. And they've been lying to the American people for decades. And Donald Trump finally showed up with the truth. And he's showing the truth to everybody. And he's aided by people like Elon Musk. He's got some of the smartest people in the world helping to expose the lies, the fraud, the corruption. And I hope that they go after lawmakers that are making millions of dollars off of insider trading. I don't trade stocks. I don't own them. I've got my retirement funds like everybody else that I've invested in early in my younger years. But I don't trade stocks because I know as a member of Congress, I think it's pretty unethical because what we say sometimes can move markets. We shouldn't be doing that. And if we say we're against it, then none of us should be. And yet here we are. Lots of people do that. A lot of
now you're back home in South Carolina, which concentrates heavily on tourism. A lot of people come into Hilton Head, Murrells Inlet, Myrtle Beach, Charleston, huge tourist area. Have you been out there and seen and talked to any of the local businesses as to what they think about this?
Well, so far, everyone that I've talked to, in fact, I had someone in the parking lot stop me on the way into the office today, just now a few minutes ago, just saying thank you and standing alongside Donald Trump. People support him more than they ever have in the last 4 or 5 years. And even independents that didn't vote for him in November are on board with his leadership and who he's brought to the table to clean house. And I think that what he's done is dealt a death blow to Democrats. I think this is going to be very difficult for them to recover from. And I hope, like hell, they continue to walk out of pro-trans legislative, issues like they did in Georgia yesterday. I hope that they continue to lie to the American people, because Americans finally see what it's about. And they went 29% approval down to 26. Now they're at 21. They're tanking right now, and I hope they continue to tank, because this will mean that we are going to change our country from top to bottom. We can't allow these people in power at all, ever. They are destroying our country. We had just another illegal 2 days ago on Wednesday in South Carolina kill an innocent American citizen. This guy was wanted by ICE and Homeland Security. Hit and run. Thank God they picked him up. They found him and picked it up. This young man died. He passed away due to the ineptitude of the Biden administration.
That was so sad. I saw that story, and I saw the other one about was a kid Metcalf or something. I don't know if that was illegal, but it's just so sad that the Democrats just don't do anything about this. One of the things that popped up today, and I don't know if you can talk about it if it'll get you in trouble, but I saw that Gavin Newsom is trying to do his own trade deal and tell countries around the world, I'm not following what Trump says, so let's go ahead and continue it. How is that even possible? I mean, I thought the president was in charge of a lot of things, but now we're finding that the president is in charge in so many things. How can he possibly do that to Californians?
I have a message for Gavin Newsom. Gavin, you will never be president. He's trying to trot back to the middle like he's some sort of independent moderate. No, that guy is off the rails. The wheels have come off of Gavin Newsom. He has no leadership. Look what happened in California with the fires, and now he thinks he's some macho man. I don't think so. His hair's too slick for that. But he's trying to undermine the president of the United States, like every single leftist Democrat. These liberal Democrats are all trying to undermine the duly elected president of the United States of America. And it's wrong, and they should be held accountable for it.
Now, one of the reasons I would think, I don't mean to assume, but one of the reasons you're probably home right now is because of this fiasco in Washington. And most of us don't understand what happened. Why did Anna Paulina do this? Why did Mike Johnson allow it? First of all, what happened, and then why did it happen?
Yeah, there was a discharge petition that hit 218 votes, which was the requirement to require a vote on the floor regarding her legislation to allow proxy voting for moms and even new fathers. I as a woman and as a mom, I want to get through Congress and any position I have based on my merit and not because I got something special. And there is an institution. We have a duty to show up to work and vote. Literally, our job constitutionally is to show up to Congress, show up to the halls of Congress, to the U.S. House of Representatives, and to vote and represent the people that elected us, the people that we represent. And if you don't show up, if you're not there, if you're voting by proxy, then you're not really, I don't believe, giving your constituents the right voice. And as a woman and as a mom, I want to compete on my own merits, just like my male colleagues do. And children are allowed on the floor. You're allowed to have kids on the floor when you're voting. Wow. There are nurseries up there. There's daycare. it's a great, if you're going to be elected and have quality of life and have young children, it's a great place to be. And look, I've got 2 kids that are teenagers now, and I know how hard it is when your kids are small and they're young. And I mean, I would take my babies into meetings when it wasn't the end thing to do. And if they were hungry, they got fed. I didn't care what I was doing. So that's my right as a mom, to take care of my children and work at the same time. You can do both.
So when you guys go back, are you going to be taking up the SAVE Act and a bunch of the stuff or is it going to get pushed back again?
Well, unfortunately, all the votes we had this week, including the SAVE Act, we weren't able to do because they had to cancel votes. There wasn't time to get through another rules package through committee. It took 24 hours procedurally. It was a big mess. And so we'll start over. My understanding is we'll start over with another package, budget reconciliation, budget material that will then put the things that leadership needs into it to support President Trump's agenda. That's what we're here for. We should have gotten to his agenda last week, and we didn't have the ability to do so because things were blown up on the floor. But next week, we'll have another chance to get back at it and put his agenda first for the American people, put America first, and that's what we're there to do.
So what are you guys going to do about these judges? And another one came out today and issued the most ridiculous ruling about he's putting I didn't know a judge could put regulations on something that the president or an agency are doing. What can you guys do about this, and when?
Well, this is a judicial crisis. I believe this is also a constitutional crisis. And unfortunately, unless the Supreme Court is willing to take it up immediately, this could be years before it's figured out, which is what these activist judges want. We should be impeaching these activist judges. They wouldn't know the Constitution if it slapped them in the face. I mean, that's where we are in this country, all because they hate Donald Trump. This is lawfare. This is using the system to undermine a presidency and a duly elected president. And they're the ones that are subverting democracy. They told us all through the election last year that we were the ones that were a threat to democracy. These people are literally tearing apart democracy in our republic.
It's
in our eyes. They're doing it in real time too, which is so scary. We got to keep calling it out. And we need to demand an impeachment of these judges.
But is impeachment going to work? I mean, it's not going to go. It's more ceremonial than actually getting these people out of office or something. Is there anything else in the interim that can be done? I mean, no one wants to say he's ignoring the judges, but at some point, one of the things I had heard was that he can say that they don't have the authority to rule the way they have. I don't know what the remedy is without it having to go through a long process to get these people to, do what they're supposed to do.
Speaker Mike Johnson has intimated that we could defund, parts of the judicial branch, and I don't know if he has the stomach to do that. I'm all in. Whatever we have to do, whatever we can do, legislatively, legally, constitutionally, we should be pushing back against these judges. And again, if the left continues this behavior, then Republicans will rule for decades. What they're doing to damage our nation, I mean, it might be permanent. There may not be much coming back from this. It could take years to recover from, given where they are right now.
You had posted something, you reintroduced, let me see if this works here. Yeah, you can see it. The increased accountability for non-consensual acts of 2025, hiking fines to $500,000 and closing legal gaps to fight revenge. I can't say the word here; they get pissed off. But I'm fighting to shield women from digital abuse. What is that? What it says? It's old boyfriends and people putting out pictures and videos of encounters, and there's no law against that currently.
Well, there's no criminal tort actually under Title 18. That the left likes to tout the Violence Against Women Act, which really didn't do nearly enough for women. And as a victim and survivor of sexual violence, I've seen the system. I've now been through the system, and I've seen how broken it is. One of the things that was included in the Violence Against Women Act was a $150,000 fine for revenge porn. And so, but that, to me, that's just not enough. When you are violated in that way, it doesn't have to be an ex-boyfriend or an ex-husband or a current boyfriend or husband. It could be anybody. There are people out there, voyeurs and peeping toms, that film people in an intimate way. They could be changing clothes or using using the restroom, any of those types of things. And I think those fines should be much higher than $150,000. This stuff goes on all the time. Mm-hmm. People are rarely prosecuted for it. If you're not going to prosecute it for it, then let's increase the civil tort to a much higher standard and much higher fee so that people will be less likely to do it in the future. If the financial way, the civil way is the only way to address it federally under Title 18, then we have to do that. But I have a number of bills based on my own experiences, based on my speech in February, on February 10th on the floor of the House, where I'm trying to do more to protect women and girls, both civilly and criminally, because there are very few people looking out for us. We talk about it a lot, but there's very few who will actually do anything, put their neck on the line like I will, to make sure that women and girls are protected. I'm going to do that.
I have a question, and it's kind of, I'm going to figure out how I can say this without grossing anybody out. Lately, there's been a trend in social media where women are going out and they're filming these activities where they're doing encounters with hundreds of men just to like break the next record or something. Is there, even though that's consensual, is there anything we can do to stop that? Because it just seems like it's giving women giving men bad images about women, and they think this woman or a couple of girls who do it, it's insane what I see them posting on X all the time.
It's nasty, and I thought pornography was banned on X. If not, it should be. But also, states are doing different things to protect especially underage people from pornography. So like the state of South Carolina recently signed into law a system that would require ID, for example, when you're online. There are different avenues that states are utilizing at the state level to protect people from some of this content. But, it's not just videos that are out there on the internet, but parents have to, we as women and as parents have to know what our kids are doing too. Mm-hmm. But, look at some of the books, the pornography and books in our school libraries that children are exposed to. So we have a long way to go to protect people from that kind of content, particularly young people and underage. And also, having a faith in Christ and a faith in God, or having that Christian faith in your life, or Jewish, for example, having a trust and faith in God goes a long way. And we've got to make sure that we have this revitalization of faith and our walk with faith, and talk about our walk with Christ, so that young people know that, there are different paths you can take in life. And there's a good path, and there's a wrong path too that you can take, and go down a path that will lead to this kind of behavior, because they lack God in their life. They lack the Savior in their life. They lack faith and community and family in their lives.
Well said. And I'm not going to go any further on that. That was fantastic. I know you're busy, so I'm going to end this with one big question. And
yes, sir.
I come from Connecticut. You come from South Carolina. We may meet in a couple of days in terms of UConn and the Gamecocks in the championship. I'm surprised you're not in Texas right now. But, what do you think? Is South Carolina all pumped up for tonight?
We are very pumped up for tonight. This is prom weekend for us here in Charleston. Okay. So we've got kids going to prom this weekend, and I'm taking photos. I actually bought my kid a suit this morning. So, but no, we're very excited about South Carolina, our girl Gamecocks, and hopefully a big win tonight.
Yeah. Okay. And last question I had: Are you? I don't know how much time you have left in terms of being home. Did you do a town hall? Did they try to invade your town hall?
We did not do a town hall this week because we weren't supposed to be here this week, but I do dozens of town halls every year, and we're going to do that. But most recently, these leftist groups that are threatening people with town halls, they've been threatening my life. They've been threatening the lives of my children and my employees. Wow. Someone just recently, actually multiple people, threatened to blow up my office over town halls, and we have played some of those messages for people so they understand. I would love to get out there and do another town hall, but these people, if they show up and they make good on their promises, I'm not going to put my constituents' lives in danger. So we're waiting for things to kind of calm down so we can get back out and be able to provide this service to our constituents. So the people that called in threatening me and my livelihood over town halls, they don't. When you ask them, we've actually been calling all of them back. And when you ask them, hey, what can we do for you? They don't have any requests. There's nothing that they're asking for. They're just, being lunatics.
I've said that to many people. If you actually get past the screaming and say, "Can we talk?" and you find out very quickly there's nothing there. It's just blind rage, and you can't.
Blind rage. I hate Trump.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I hate Trump. I hate Republicans. I hate MAGA. You hate everything. There's nothing joyful in your life. And like you said, it's probably God. It's a God-shaped hole in many of these people. Well, thank you very
100%.
much. I want you to stay safe. Well, you'll be safe in South Carolina, but be safe when you get back up. If you get back up into the hornet's nest up there. And have a great weekend. Thank you for coming on.
And many blessings. Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.